Hello everybody, Susan Munro here, Elizabeth's group, and this is lockdown film number 5. For lockdown film number 5 I want to return to this little book that's been written for us. It's a brilliant little book and it was written by a lady called Linda Hulse. Now, who is Linda Hulse, you might ask? Well, I've got her here with me today. So over to you, Linda. Tell us who you are and what you're all about.
Hello, my name's Linda Hulse. I'm Secretary of Congleton History Society and I'm a volunteer and a trustee at Congleton Museum. I first heard of Elizabeth about 20 years ago. Driving through Congleton, I saw the blue plaque on her house and stopped and had a look at it and thought, wow, a suffragette here in Congleton, must find out more about that. But it was very difficult to access any information. She really was the hidden activist. Until 2013, when Dr. Maureen Wright produced her outstanding biography on Elizabeth.
Yes, she really was hidden. Maureen did a marvellous piece of work, digging it all out and doing the research for us. We're just building on that. We're just getting Elizabeth out there, hopefully getting a wonderful statue. Your little book is wonderful. It tells Elizabeth's story in a nice, easy, accessible way. And I want to ask you about a couple of the incidents that you've got in this book. The first one is the Salford Mill incident. We know that today as Jantex, of course. There it is in the book. And that was all about Annie Besant and Charles Braidlaw. And they were very famous in their time, weren't they?
Yes. Elizabeth mixed with the A-team in terms of political activists and politicians. And they came to Congleton to deliver a series of lectures. And the town council wouldn't allow them to hire the town hall because they disapproved of their lifestyle, they disapproved of their political views. In fact, a little bit before this, they tried to have Ben Elmy arrested on a charge of sedition because of some of the things he'd been writing and saying. So they hired Salford Mill for Annie to give her lectures. Now, she was a very controversial figure, being an atheist and very open about it at a time when, and let's be honest, if a factory worker didn't go to church on a Sunday, the mill owner might well call them in Monday morning and say, where were you? It's a time when everybody went to church. So there was quite a performance at this lecture when she was talking about really the right to have your own opinions. The lecture hall was packed and there was an even bigger crowd outside who were singing hymns and pelting the windows with bricks in protest at having an atheist speaking in Congleton. One of the bricks actually smashed through the window and hit Mrs. Besant on the head. And when the lecture was over, quite an aggressive crowd chased them home to Congleton, pelting them with stones and mud whilst singing "What a Friend We Have in Jesus."
Wonderful.
The next day there was more trouble, this time in the hall. Charles Braidlaw, who was president of the National Secular Association, took the chair, and a local tradesman stood up and basically challenged him to a fight. And Braidlaw said, right you are, took his coat off, jumped down into the body of the hall, they had a punch-up, which Braidlaw won, and the tradesman was choked out. But there was more trouble, more pelting of stones, and this time poor Elizabeth was hit on the head by a brick, and she carried a scar over one of her eyes for the rest of her life. And this caused a tremendous fuss in Congleton. There were questions asked in the town council, on the watch committee, extra police patrols in Congleton. So it caused a real stir.
She always caused a stir. Wherever she went, she caused a stir.
That's one reason you love her.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They were also very into family planning and teaching young people about sex education, weren't they? I know Ben wrote a book about sex education, about teaching really young children, age 6, about their bodies and how they work.
Yes.
And I think it's called Baby Buds. I've got a copy, and really interesting. He was 100 years before his time. And I think Annie Besant and Charles Braidlaw, they wrote a book as well, and there was actually a court case about it, wasn't there?
Yes, they ended up in prison.
Yes, I thought they actually went to prison for teaching young people about sex education. It's amazing today, really, isn't it? You know, when we think of that, what happened. Yeah.
I mean, Elizabeth was the first public figure to raise the issue of marital rape.
Yes.
And it wasn't until 1980s that marital rape became an offence.
Yes, I know. I couldn't believe that. I think it was 1994 when it actually came off the statute.
94, okay, right. Yeah.
So, but then the other little story that I love in the book is the last one, Elizabeth, when she was old, and the women, the marchers, they came through especially to see her, and she rode that little pony, Vixen.
Yes.
I think that's a lovely story.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely. I can just see her on the little pony, right? You know, frail little old lady. Yes. One of the things I touched on with Maureen was the destruction of her archive, which I just think is so sad. And I have a little, I have a niggle. I don't know why that was allowed to happen. I don't know where Frank, her son, was, how he was not involved in that and stopped it happening. Have you got any theories?
Well, I don't know. I think we have to look at, I don't know whether, maybe Frank was just sick of living in a house with lots of bits of paper around. I don't know. I mean, perhaps that's how he saw it. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the big mysteries.
It is. And it's a sad mystery because I think we lost, we lost such a lot. Linda, thank you very much. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for writing this fantastic little book. It's getting such great reviews. People are really enjoying it. Thank you for everything you're doing, and the museum, in support of Elizabeth's group. Thank you very much. Thank you, Linda. Since making that little film with Linda, I looked into marital rape, and I found out that it only became against the law in the Sexual Offences Act of 2003. Prior to that, it was not an offence for a man to rape his wife. Elizabeth was fighting it 130 years ago, and it only just came in 2003. I find that really shocking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed number 5. Number 6 is coming up, and number 6 is going to be about statues, female statues in particular, and we've got some really interesting people to interview, so I'm looking forward to bringing you that really soon. In the meantime, stay safe, keep thinking about Elizabeth, don't forget Elizabeth's group, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.